There are emails with pictures of his parents.
Aubrey O has everyone shaking right now after she exposed major tea about how Diddy allegedly tried to make Beyonce his freak-off girl before she even became famous. Some of y'all might not believe this, but Beyonce was one signature away from signing to Diddy. And even after Diddy failed at trapping Beyonce in his exploitive record label, he wanted to remake Destiny's Girl so badly and took it out on Audrey and the other girls in Danity Kane. Now, some of y'all might not know this, but prior to Diddy forming Danity Kane, he and Clive Davis had the chance to sign Destiny's Child, but they passed on the opportunity. And in case you're wondering why, it's because they didn't think Destiny's Child was sexy enough to pull attention and sell music. So back in the 90s, Destiny's Child secured a developmental deal through producer Daryl Simmons. During that developmental deal, Daryl introduced the girls to Clive Davis, but as I said, he didn't like them. Now, when they were introduced to Diddy, he actually took a liking to Beyonce, and Beyonce only. He praised her for her vocal ability and the uniqueness of her name. However, he still refused to sign them because they weren't sexy enough. Yup, you heard that right. Every label the group was pitched to either said no or would single out Beyonce. It got so bad that Daryl even suggested at one point that they rename the group to just Beyonce, but Matthew Knowles rejected this immediately. Eventually, they got a deal with Columbia Records, and the rest was history. But baby, Diddy was pressed about this because he had the chance to have them on his label. Now they were popping out hits and making Columbia Records a whole bunch of money, when all that money could have been going straight into his pockets if he had just signed them. So what does he do? He decided to create his own girl group right around the time Destiny's Child was disbanding. He created Danity Kane in 2005, and by 2006, Destiny's Child had officially disbanded for good. But as we all know, Danity Kane wasn't nearly as successful as Destiny's Child. Now don't get me wrong, Danity Kane had 2 #1 albums, so clearly they had some motion, but it just wasn't on the same level as Destiny's Child. Danity Kane was full of drama right from when it was created on MTV to even after they got out of their terrible record deal with Diddy. Diddy was giving the Danity Kane girls a really hard time, especially Aubrey, but honey, she was ready to call him out every time, even if the other girls were quiet.
What do you want to look like though?
I'll tell
what
you.
What do you want to look like though?
I'll tell you. I'm not focused on me. I'm focused on what this group should look like and how I should fit in this situation.
You like big hair though.
I don't like big hair.
You do like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown at me.
I'm not seeing the flexibility. You gaming me.
Whether my hair is straight, curly, whatever. I'm not here in a group to have curly, straight, big, makeup, whatever. I'm here in a group to sing with my group, and that is all I care about. For real, like, maybe you just don't get me and we don't get each other.
Aubrey accused Diddy of deliberately pitting them against each other to cause misunderstandings in the group. If he was able to turn them against each other, then it would be easier for him to control and manipulate them.
The stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred, and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are fucking insane. It's everything you could imagine why somebody would want to fire somebody. I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me, not talent-wise, but in other areas. So it's difficult when you're that young to understand your worth as a woman through the men that I was around, and that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore, like what happened? You don't have anything, like you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person. And there was no Me Too at that time. There was no protecting anyone at that time. You signed a million NDAs and a million contracts that took away all your rights.
Aubrey said Diddy would also try to convince the girls into freak-off activities against their will. And when they said no, he would brutally, verbally, and psychologically mistreat them. In fact, Diddy's former guard, Gene Deal, said he overheard Diddy talking about how he was going to allegedly spike Aubrey and then SA her.
Because I heard him, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said, in front of a lot of people, we were in the studio, and I said something to him and walked out the studio. He said, yo, I'm a off and picked them up and put them out to my, he said, I'm gonna them out. I'm gonna get them all on, and I'm gonna pick their ass out to my, and I was like, there's somebody kids, and walked out. And it's somebody that heard me. It's somebody that heard me. I mean, well, it's not only somebody that heard me, it's somebody that I know who was in the studio at the time that happened, and I still talk to him today. And we were just talking about that the other day. He done moved back to Indiana. I don't know why. I'm gonna give you that one. He said he was gonna drug them all out and them out.
Anyway, if you thought all that was bad, wait till you hear this too. So it turns out that just days before Cassie's lawsuit came out, Diddy tried to silence all former artists of Bad Boy by finally agreeing to give them back their masters. But it was on one condition. They had to sign an NDA. But Aubrey, being the smart one of the bunch, convinced the other girls not to sign it because, frankly speaking, they didn't need those public rights anymore. No one barely streams or buys those songs anymore, so they would barely make money from it anyway. Diddy knew Cassie's lawsuit was going to make more victims come out, and he tried to get ahead of it by shoving NDAs down their throats. Fortunately, Aubrey knew something major was going to happen for him to be suddenly rushing them to sign NDAs, so she told the girls not to sign it and to wait to see if anything comes up.
I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
So that you just got recently for this thing?
I got it a few months ago when he started doing
what's
this.
In the news now?
So what's happening is artists, some of them, not all of them, are being given streaming royalties and ownership back over our publishing on songs that we wrote at a time when you know that you have to stream a song 1 million times to make a cent.
Yeah.
Okay? It's hundreds of dollars. And me as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now.
Diddy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal confirmed this as well, when he said the Danity Kane girls were actually the only ones who didn't sign that NDA.
Did Diddy make his artists sign NDAs and people that work for him?
Well, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these industry people, anybody who does business nowadays with the internet, they have NDAs, non-disclosure. That means that if you work for them, you around them, you can't disclose any of the information about them. It's the same thing that he gave to all his artists when he gave them their publishing back. I'm gonna give y'all publishing, but y'all can't talk about Janice Combs, Justin Combs, Sony, Bad Boy, or anything that happened. Y'all can't talk about none of that. But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it, and they able to talk about anything they want to. And I think that's those girls that was, I think Danity Kane. I think a couple of them didn't sign it. And boy, oh boy, they probably gonna go after him too.
And as if all this wasn't bad enough, Aubrey recently appeared in the Diddy Netflix documentary and spilled some major tea about the time someone caught Diddy allegedly SA-ing her while she was unconscious. Y'all remember what Gene Deal said earlier about overhearing Diddy telling someone he was going to SA Aubrey? Well, it's safe to say he actually succeeded in doing it after all.
There are emails with pictures of his face. Here's one email. I don't want to just you, I want to turn you out. I can see you being with some motherfucker that you tell what to do. I make my woman do what I tell her to do, and she loves it. I just want and like to do things different. I'm gonna finish watching this and finish master. Think of you, happy face. If you change your mind and get ready to do what I say, hit me, happy face. God bless Diddy. God is the greatest.
towards the end of this documentary, Aubrey O starts getting very emotional, saying that she was contacted by a lawyer by somebody who was filing a lawsuit against Diddy. Now, whoever this person was that filed this lawsuit against Diddy wrote an affidavit and was claiming that they saw something back in 2005 of Aubrey O being SA'd by Diddy and another person.
Now, going back to Beyonce, word in the street is Diddy never got over her. If y'all remember, even though he didn't end up signing Destiny's Child, he took a liking to Beyonce. Well, according to some people who were close to Diddy, he still wanted Beyonce, and he did some things to show that. The first one was when he humiliated the group members of DaBaby by making them walk all the way downtown to get him a cheesecake from the cheese factory. One of the group members, Freddie P., recently revealed that the cheesecake was actually for Beyonce. This whole time, we thought Diddy punished these boys for his own satisfaction, when it was really at the request of Beyonce.
Okay, fun fact a lot of people don't know, that cheesecake we went and got was for Beyonce. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact people don't know. People like, y'all walked and got a cheesecake. It was for Beyonce. I'll do it again. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Darlon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He ain't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? He said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I don't want that shit. Take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we wanted to tell you, Fred and Darlon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He was like, I ain't tell you niggas to walk back.
Right when this came out, a video went viral of DaBaby exposing the time he allegedly met Beyonce and Jay-Z at a private party at Diddy's house. He said Diddy kicked everyone out of the room, leaving only him, Beyonce, Jay, and Diddy in the room. Once it was just them, he claims Beyonce started talking to him a lot, and she even introduced herself to him.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people, he had put them out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there.
Mm-hmm.
Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know,
right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in
right.
at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
What he is a broke down mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. Interview with that DaBaby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shack. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, you know, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let DaBaby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. There is no turning back. You're caught. I wish you had the common sense that animals do when they're caught. They just surrender. But no, y'all gonna fight it to the very end. Y'all gonna bring this broke down old NFL bum who apparently will do anything with his genitals to help cover or create validity where there is none with the weirdos. With his little orange purse. Screwing people's kids. Screwing kids young enough to be his grandchildren. Shame on you. You a dirty, old man. Period.
Now, I'm not saying that any of this proves Beyoncé has. Something is going on with Diddy at any point. However, with everything out there, that's what people think. And baby, they are not stopping it anytime soon. As usual, people had their own thoughts, like this person who said, "Please somebody protect Aubrey. Those freaky people will totally try to silence her forever. They have been doing this for years and more nonstop." Another person said, "Have we ever thought that maybe she's a victim too?" That's all I'm saying. I'm really curious about this whole thing. I wouldn't be surprised. Diddy is an evil thing. He doesn't deserve to be called human. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Diddy allegedly trying to make Beyoncé his girl? And do you really think Beyoncé has something to do with all this too? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.